Hello everybody and welcome to this month's edition of Dawg Talk. This is our January edition, and we'd first like to thank everybody for the following on Instagram, subscribing to YouTube, and watching our video, and we can't wait to get you guys some more content here this month.
Yeah, thank you all, and we are looking to improve our show every month, so if you have any feedback, feel free to leave it in the comments.
And with that, let's get to our first segment, girls basketball.
The girls are 9-7 on the season and 4-0 in league with a huge win last night. Braden, can you tell us more about that?
Yep, Montesano knocked off Elma last night in Elma. It was a big win, puts them in 4-0 in league, gives them a game lead against everybody else. So at this point, they control their own destiny, and that's honestly, it's huge for them.
Yeah, I think if everything works out, like they keep winning, Monty does, then when Elma comes here, it's going to be a big game.
Oh, and you know the crowd's going to be packed. Everybody's going to be excited because the league's going to be on the line. Yep. And you got to expect Montesano to come out on top.
Yeah, definitely.
At the bow.
Mm-hmm. And another news, we have Zoe Hutchings. She reached her 1,000 points on her career in Tenino a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, you got to give that to Zoe. She's had 4 great years in the Montesano program, and 1,000 points is nothing to scoff at. So you got to give it to her. We had her on the show last month, and she was pretty excited about the year. She expected them to make it to the state tournament, and they're playing like they're going to. So we're excited to see what they'll do.
Yeah.
Now we're going to talk about the next sport, wrestling. There was a dual league matchup last night that Montesano clinched dual league. Not yet league, but they have more to come in the future. It was a pretty fun night. Montesano beat Forks and Elma. What else you got to say about it?
Yeah, last night, senior night, 4 senior wrestlers, Aaron Lano, Brent Hollitz, Carter Roberts, and Augie Erguin. It was a fun night because they had a fan appreciation night, so shout out to them for giving the student section prizes. Big student section, I'd say. Overall, it's fun to see our guys wrestle.
Yeah, and a couple weeks there will be the league meet where they can actually win league. But so far they have racked up the dual league title, and hopefully they can move on to regional titles and have a couple state participants. All right, let's get into the newest segment of our show, something we like to call Montesano Mailbox. So, Sam, first question from Sean O'Neill. If Stephen A. Smith was broadcasting a Montesano basketball game, what phrases and words would he use?
Well, that's a good one, because if you don't know who Stephen A. Smith is, he is this ESPN analyst who uses a big vocabulary when talking about sports, and it's pretty funny if you've never watched him. So
yeah, I mean, if there was like some crazy call from the ref, he'd probably use words like blasphemous,
preposterous,
and stuff like that, and he'd also maybe even call somebody a bona fide scrub. Yes. That's probably what we've got for you, Sean.
Yep. All right, our next question comes from Big Dog 55 on our YouTube channel. Thoughts on the future of Montesano sports in upcoming years, such as players, coaching?
Well, there are some. I mean, it changes every year because of the senior class that goes out and the freshman class that comes in. And not to hoot our own horns or anything, but I think we're a pretty good senior class. So I think it's going to be hard to make up for all the leadership and skill that we have. But we do. There's definitely some good underclasses coming up. Coaching-wise, there's some changes in football, so we'll see how they deal with that, but it's a really good culture and program, so I'm not too worried about it. And now, on to boys basketball.
We just beat Elma last night to go 4-0 in league and a 2-game lead on all the other teams in league.
Yeah, everybody's been battling it out under us, so Hoquiam, Elma, and Forks, all pretty solid teams. They're all at 2-2 in the league, and we've got 4-0. Tenino's down at 0-4, so 2-game lead. That's a pretty good position to be in halfway through league. Yeah. And I think, hey, win 2 more, might have the league locked up.
Yeah, we control basically our own destiny, so we just got to worry about us. We don't have to worry about any other teams, and try to get that first place in the league to get the first seed in districts.
Yep, looking forward to that second half of the league. It's going to be tough to go up to Forks and win. It always is. And at Hoquiam is never easy. So it'll be a tougher second half, but I'm expecting Monty to go 8-0.
And now we're going to have 2 senior members of the basketball team on the show, Carter Olson and Cole Daniels.
And here we are back on the show. Thanks for being with us, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's a great time here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Of course. So, first question would be, you guys are halfway through league. What do you think the rest of the year is looking like?
Well, I think we're going to make a run. We're really coming together as a team. We kind of got off to a slow start, but we're starting to find our identity out on the court. Practices have been going really well, and so I think we're kind of a sleeper team this year, and people are going to be surprised in districts once we get there.
Yeah, hopefully. Carter?
Yeah, I'd agree with him. We lost a couple guys before the season, and we're just slowly working our way up and finding who we are.
Yeah, so the season's going pretty well. What has been your favorite game this year?
For me, probably this last Elma game, just because it was an awesome environment. The stands were packed. Everyone was yelling. For some reason, the gym was super hot, but it was just an awesome environment because everyone was just hooting and hollering, and it was an all-around, honestly, they gave us a little better run than I thought they would.
For me, I like the Hokum game just because it was the first game of league, and we just came out there, blew them out of the water, and just kind of showed who's dominant in our league.
Yeah, I think nobody really expected us to be as good as we are. I don't know if our opponents haven't been as good, but I think we've been playing really well and gotten off to big leads when we weren't really supposed to, early in the year. So now, say we get first place in the league, how do you think districts are looking? Because I know that Southern District is pretty good.
Yeah, they are pretty good, and I think we're looking at getting either Castle Rock or Stevenson if we get the 1 seed in our league, and then we'll have a tough game against their 2 probably, either La Center or Kingsway, which they're both pretty solid teams, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I'd agree. I know Kingsway got this 7-footer on their team. They're always very solid, and same with the center, well coached. They're always running, and so those 2 teams are pretty stacked. Also, Seton Catholic, you never know what you're going to get from them. Some days they're just on and just unguardable, and then other days not as much, but they're also a very tough opponent. And then same with some of the lower level teams in their league, Stevenson, Castle Rock. Castle Rock beat us earlier in the year, but I mean, we weren't who we are now, and I think we'll definitely be able to take them on this next time if we get the chance.
Yeah, definitely. Before the games, do you guys have any pregame ritual or meal that you like to have?
Normally I go over to my girlfriend's house, get some Monsters Mochas. Like to get a red raspberry, blue raspberry, Red Bull smoothie, and a steak and egg burrito, and then put the earbuds in and listen to some music.
Yeah, I usually will stop at C&T, grab myself some General Tisso's chicken.
Nice.
And yeah.
It's always a good one. You can never get too much Tisso's.
No, Tisso's. It's great.
All right, well, thanks for coming on the show. Looking forward to the rest of the year. As I'm playing with these guys, it's kind of weird that I'm asking them, but thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go get some more dubs, eh?
Yep, thank you.
All right.
All right, welcome back. We are here with our athletic director, Tim Trimble, and thanks for being on the show with us.
Hey, glad to be here.
So the first question is, a lot of people have been wondering what the new 1A football league is going to look like next year, as it sounds like Forks is dropping out. We might combine with the South. So what's it looking like?
Okay, well, let's start with the first one. Forks did move to the 2B level, and on the other side of the coin, Stevenson also did the same.
Okay.
So on the Trico League, Stevenson moved to 2B, Forks moved to 2B. So that left us with 5 schools in each league. There's some talk, I'm not going to lie, that there was some talk of making a 9-team schedule, which would be really cool for scheduling, but not that cool because some of the, as important as a Montesano Elma game is, it's just as important that La Center gets to play Woodland, and that would not have been able to happen if we'd have stayed with what we had.
Sure.
So that kind of fell apart. In the meantime, Fort Vancouver, who is a struggling 2A school now, petitioned down to be in the 1A football league. So there's some questions whether we needed to involve Fort Vancouver. Well, short version of it is we will still be in a 5-team league. Eatonville has come in to replace Forks. And so our job was today and the last few weeks has been trying to find a schedule. And so I'm here to tell you that we're going to open up next year with Black Hills. at home. We're going to follow it up with a really good 1A program, Cascade Christian.
Wow.
And then we'll play White Salmon, which we played last year, and followed by Castle Rock, La Center. So we got a pretty aggressive schedule, and it'll be pretty interesting to see where that goes. Now, those games are all non-league.
Yeah.
We'll still be in the 5-league situation, and so I think it's going to work out really good, and it's a good schedule for Montesano.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty cool schedule,
Yeah.
and I don't know, that's a little different.
Yeah,
And thanks for breaking news to us. Sorry, Sam.
There you go. And I hope all that stays, that's all pretty new, and we're working on locations, home and away, and all that stuff right now, but we're putting it all together. The Cascade Christian is a great game for us.
Yeah.
Black Hills is a quality opponent, as well as the La Center, Castle Rock, and White Salmon. So those are great games for us.
Yeah.
And you get to see the South, so like that crossover
Right.
game, you may have already seen the team. So
Exactly.
that's a pretty cool schedule.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be fun. And I mean, I can just transfer it all to the other sports too, as well.
Yeah.
Some of those, when you have a 5-team league, it's not the best ideal circumstance, because you'd like to have 7 or 8, so you have a lot of league games. But we've forged an agreement with the Trico that next year we'll be able to, they'll play at least 3 or 4 non-league with us in basketball. Maybe 5 in basketball, maybe a couple in volleyball and soccer and so forth. So I think it's all going to work out.
Yeah, that's good. So what's your favorite part about being an athletic director, especially like a place in Monty?
Well, I know this is going to sound kind of weird, but probably the best part about being an athletic director here in Montesano is being in Montesano, because I get to hook up with you guys, talk to you guys, and we have great kids, and our community is so supportive of what you guys do, and I think it's really important for us to stress that our parents, our fans stand behind us through thick and thin, and sometimes it's not good. I mean, we have some struggles as well as victories, but they always stand behind us, and I think that's why I think it's a great place to work and a great place for you guys to participate. They back you.
Yeah.
And I like to say, I always say it at athletic directors meeting, I always say, well, at the University of Montesano, we are going to have a bowling team. And then everybody else looks at you like, how are you doing that? Well, because our people support us.
Yeah.
So.
We're definitely lucky to live in Monty, and lucky to have you.
Yes.
So thanks for coming on the show,
Yep,
and thanks for breaking that new news to us.
Okay, there you go.
Football.